Hello and welcome to the Vanessa Eriksson podcast. I'm Vanessa, your host, and I'm here to bring you meaningful conversations with leaders and influencers on data, AI, innovation, and leadership. Today with me, I have a friend, Goran. You all know him as the CEO of Hyperight and also the Data Innovation Summit 2020. We've all heard about it, right? Here he is. Hello, Goran.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh, the honor is mine. For those who don't know you, because I think everybody in the Nordics knows you, would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, first and foremost, I don't think that everybody knows me in the Nordics. I think that for those of us that are working in the data analytics and AI community and industry and professional, etc., I think that, we have done some stuff there. So who am I? I'm a father of three. I'm a family guy, first and foremost. And then after that, I hustle every day. That is who I am. It feels like it more and more. Now, so for the past 10 years, I have been focusing on, I'm a community builder. Since I came in Sweden around 20 years ago, I ended up in the event industry, and then I fell completely in love with it. And since that point of time until now, I have been actually helping basically building communities in different topics. But for the past 10 years, I've been focusing mostly on data analytics and AI. I think it's truly transformative technology that will change society, business, and the way how we experience and enjoy life and everything else.
But if you explain what you do without using AI, what you do?
That is a very simple question, actually. It was never about data and AI, because data and AI will disappear. So what I do, it's actually, I connect people. I'm like Nokia, right? Right. So actually, I was thinking about this. When I started Hyperight at the beginning, in part of the logo, there was supposed to be a text. And the text says, like, educate, engage, excite, and power. But it was too much text, so we took it off. But it's still there if you go to hyperight.com. But that is actually, those four words are combining everything. So we create platform that activates communities. We provide platform where people can share knowledge, educate, and etc. We are trying to create platforms where we are basically people can get engaged in the communities and contribute to that. We are mixing them with a good blend between hype and practical things. Yeah. So we excite people about the future, but we want them to be very serious about what we can do today. And the last part is actually we want them to whatever they learn to implement tomorrow, right? So if you come to an event and if you can learn something and then you can implement that and that thing improves only 1% of what you're doing, I think that we have done a job.
Yeah, it's brilliant because I've been a speaker at a few of your events, and the way it has grown, you have done something really truly remarkable, and as your friend, really proud of what you have achieved. But when you launched the Data Innovation Summit, Gartner and other big consultancies were already dominating the scene. Did you ever feel like David going up against Goliath, and what gave you the faith to do it differently?
Yeah, so I have two basically shifts in this, let's call them gears. Yeah. One, I believe that every single person and company needs to have a Goliath. If you don't have a Goliath, that means that you are a Goliath, and that means that somebody else will disrupt you, right? Yeah. And for all of you that are thinking that you are Goliath, so somebody is after you. So I was actually speaking with my team a week ago. You can ask Saranda. I said, I feel that we are becoming Goliath. So from tomorrow we are disrupting ourselves. I don't want to see anything that we have done in an old way, because I think that you need to have a Goliath in order for you to be better, to aspire, and to have something to fight for. The second thing, I don't see competition at all. If there is a competition, that is a good sign. That means there is a market. If there is no competition, maybe you're in a wrong market or you're the first mover, but chances of that is maybe 1 in 10,000, maybe 1 in 100,000. So Gartner was definitely a driver, but it was not a big competitor. At that point of time, the biggest company that I was looking after, it's a company that actually, two companies that do not exist today.
Okay.
One is Innovation Enterprise in the United States. They were doing fantastic events and community events for data analytics and AI in US. And then there was O'Reilly Media that right now sells only books. At that point of time, they had one of the biggest events, and they were doing it in UK and in US. And then Gartner, of course. Yeah. So those three. From those three, none of them exist. And Gartner probably will go bankruptcy this year because it's 60-70% down. Now it's no speculations here. So yeah.
Yeah. I love the enthusiasm, but you clearly saw something in the Nordics that others overlooked. How did that inspire Hyperight?
Yes, so Nordics was definitely and is still definitely overlooked. I think that at that point of time, one of the drives why Hyperight exists is because I was a little bit angry that when I was setting up Data Innovation Summit, people will tell me like, why should I go to an event in Stockholm or in Sweden when I can go to United States or UK? So are you telling me that you will go with your team of 6 people, 10 people to United States, pay 10,000 crowns or $1,000 for entry basically per person? Then you spend $3,000 other dollars for everything else, and we don't have anything in the Nordics, and we don't, it's like, why should I go here? I think that the Nordics, first of all, is one of the most innovative regions in the world. In a startup and scale-up type of sense, we are, I think, second after Silicon Valley. Of course, now France and Germany, etc., are picking up, yeah. But I think we are still dominant in that. So we are first in innovation. We are extremely good in research and development. We have the money. We are the first adopter of any technology, and we have a very, very big companies. So at that point of time, most of the conferences were actually done in UK and in United States. So I wanted to do one event, just one event to prove everybody that I can do the best event in the world, or at least like one of the 3 best in Stockholm for 1/10 of the price that you will invest. And that price has been since then and until this day part of our what is called like strategy and etc. Our tickets are still around 300 euros or something like that to attend to our events for 10 times more value of any event in the world.
Indeed. But every organizer claims to showcase innovation. How do you filter the buzzwords from real, tangible innovation stories that practitioners learn from? Yeah. When you said, you can, from your events, you can go back and start working on it immediately. That's what they get. But how do you then filter all these buzzwords?
Well, I don't. You know why? Because the community will. Okay. So our events are from the community, for the community. We have wonderful speakers like yourself that are coming. You are a practitioner from the market. You are not going to speak about buzzwords. You're going to tell and speak and present what you're doing today. So I think that is actually the main thing. Yeah. But I also don't agree that everything needs to be practical, because we need to have 2 shifts, 2 gears. One is actually where we're going. Yeah. So we need to have people that will tell us like, okay, we're going to be working with agents in 10 years from now. But right now, let's focus on metadata management, because this is where we are. So we need to have like the perspective where we are going and what we need to do today.
Yeah. But I think if reflecting on the buzzwords, I think sometimes you actually need it, because especially when you're talking to the business, yes. Because if you go with if you don't go with the words that they are used to, the buzzwords, sometimes you have a risk of losing them.
So I was speaking about this, my presentation on Data Innovation Summit, which was very short. It was about this. It was value versus hype. At the beginning, you need to have hype, so you can actually create a critical mass to get things going. And the value is what is left after the hype is gone. So for example, now we have AI. is hype, right? We're talking about general AI, right? Not artificial general intelligence. We're talking in general about artificial intelligence. It's definitely a hype. But once this hype disappears, when nobody starts talking, is there something left? And I think that it will be. If we're looking at big data, nobody talks about big data anymore, but it's actually powering every single organization out there. We're talking about IoT. Nobody talks about IoT anymore, but it powers all the industrial and asset-heavy organizations in the world. We're not talking about business intelligence. We're not talking about pricing. We're not talking about supply chain. Those were also hype at some point of time. But the value still remains. So I think you need to have this both dosage. And people usually say like, oh, but hype is it's overhyped. No, it shows you that people are going somewhere. Where are we right now? We will see after the hype comes down.
True. What is the most overhyped AI trend you've seen take the stage? And what's the one underhyped trend you think will reshape industries?
Today?
Yeah.
Definitely AGI and agents. Overhyped. We are not there.
And
I know that
AGI, for those who don't know?
Yeah, AGI is artificial general intelligence when you have a super intelligence that is basically beyond any human capability that can execute and work or has all the knowledge. It's basically like Iron Man, and Iron Man has this computer which was, I forgot now what it is. In any case, so he has this computer and this computer does everything for him. Okay, so now I'm a fan now. I'm very disappointed that it will come. So that is artificial general intelligence, and I think that we are not there yet. I think that AI was overhyped as well, and now agents is in action. And I'm not saying that agent is not future. Agent is definitely the future. However, we have a huge problems right now with consistency, with hallucinations, making sure that we know exactly how to translate workflows into agentic workflows and etc. And I know that many people will hate me for this because I have a lot of friends that are building such things and etc. But I think it's definitely overhyped today. Yeah. We are not ready for it, but in a couple of years it will happen. If we are talking about underestimated, I think small language models and edge AI is underestimated. Because small language models right now, they can do quite a lot of difference. They are small models that are built on a very, very compound information. Maybe that is going to be, if you and me, we have a company, maybe that is going to be our process documents, is going to be our PDFs, our strategy, our I don't know, like whatever. So that is it's a compound knowledge that only basically serves us. And with these small language models, we can do quite a lot of difference. And many people are trying to build that via Copilot and OpenAI and etc. But that one is too general knowledge. So it mixes things together, and then it becomes a little bit unattainable. They're better with accuracy, they're better with consistency, we can fine-tune them with RAG, with different stuff. So I think that is the thing. And Edge AI, you put that small language model on the edge where you're getting the information, it can filter the noise, it can make a lot of decisions by itself. And if we are talking about agents, I think that the first part of the agents will be on that side, on the edge.
It's really interesting. I'm thinking, what roles, I mean, we've just briefly touched upon this. What roles do you see, the new ones that are coming out from the people that are talking and, the companies that you are involved with?
Yeah, there is definitely, I have to say something. Yeah. This is very important because you know that I'm very opinionated in some things, but it's observing things. I think that there has been there is a challenge. Right now we have a challenge of getting value from data and AI. And I think that we made that problem. And we made that problem because, when big data came along, and when we started Data Innovation Summit, you remember the first one in 2015, all the slides were like disruption is happening. Uber is going to disrupt us. Spotify is going to disrupt us. This and this and this. And the question was, who should be the innovator? Yeah. right? Who is responsible for innovation in the organization? And in 2014-15, and until now, innovation with data and AI has been pushed down to technical teams. And the technical teams, I think their responsibility is technical innovation. Which technology should we get together to solve a problem? How should the data look like? And I know for a fact that we are ready. The technical teams are ready to technologically innovate. That means innovate with the data and AI.
Yeah.
But it's unfair to put the enormous pressure to the data science, AI teams to do business innovation, because business should be doing innovation. So I think it's time for us to turn the fingers and say like, no, it's not us who should innovate. Come to me with a problem and I will solve it for you. But however, you need to know what you need to innovate with. Yeah. So the innovation needs to be pushed down to the businesses. And the most fault for this is that we didn't know anything about this technology. But now we know. We know the limitations, we know the objectives, and etc. And who is better to run a business than the business owners? True. So if we are talking about the titles now there is a new titles. I think that there is a AI product officers. It's a data product officers. As the data is now being democratized and pushed to the edges are the business lines and etc. With these decentralized federated data management practices. Data is available to everyone, so you will have a data responsible within the business, maybe in marketing and sales, who is responsible about the database that they're working with and everything else. And then they will have an AI product owner that is responsible for delivering value with AI. And I think that slowly we will see AI going more to the business side. We are still not there. We need to do a lot of literacy. But in 4 or 5 years, we will stop talking about AI. We will talk about efficiency, excellence in different stuff, and etc. So, yeah, that is what is happening right now. We have come to the end of technical innovation. We are ready.
We are ready.
We are ready. The business is not ready. So all the CXOs, you should start working on this. It's your problem now.
I love that. I love that. I mean, you're right. But I think also, looking at the roles coming out, synthetic data architect as well. I mean,
yes.
That's one of the ones that I see.
There are plenty of those that are small like this. Yeah.
Yes.
Synthetic is very important because in a world of GDPR where we can, it's funny, GDPR in Sweden, when we have open society and you can Google every single person on. But it doesn't matter. So in a world of GDPR, I think the synthetic data is going to be fantastic things. So synthetic data is it's basically supplying data that is artificially created to train models to create different stuff and etc. And in a times, for example, when we don't have that. When we don't have original data, right, customer data, or we cannot work with that, I think synthetic data is a very important part.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's go to leadership. Running events in data and AI means chasing a moving target. How do you decide which technologies or teams are worth betting on early?
Oh, well, you don't. You start with something and you see if it works. Now, joke on aside, I think that, as I mentioned before, so we do events from the community for community. So I'm sitting with practitioners like yourself and etc. And I'm very, very, I question myself and I question everything all the time. So quantitative data. So if I speak with 60 practitioners like yourself, and you all tell me one thing or 3 things, I will focus on that. There is no need for me to focus on the one thing that somebody told me out of 60. So I think that this is actually what we need to focus on in communities and companies. Focus on what customer wants. Follow the money, and that will show you. So, but I have done mistakes. I focus. I tried to do blockchain events. That failed miserably. Multiverse, that was a flop. MCPs and etc. So we tried a couple of things. It didn't work. And after some times, you will see things that do not stick around. And if they don't stick around, you focus on what does.
No. So you also see there's a humble side to him. We also admit when we make mistakes.
Yes, sometimes. Yeah.
But yeah, I just said, have you ever gotten it wrong spotlighting a trend? And yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have.
yeah, all the time, all the time. So you learn from the mistakes. It doesn't matter. I think.
But I think, I'm sorry, Goran, but I don't think that you can tell in advance, right? Because you're doing exactly what, and I buy that because you're going with the community. What is the buzz with the community? What is it that they want to hear more about? You go with that. But then it's hard because, I mean, as you say, sometimes it just fizzles out and it doesn't pick up. And I think blockchain is one that, I mean, I also hear a lot about blockchain, but
Quantum was the same.
But quantum, we had Gabriela here, who's still putting a lot of bet on it.
You can put stocks, you can invest in stocks. One day it might come true.
Yeah.
Yes, but right now it's not supported. Even blockchain has its application, but it cannot be applied in data. How you distribute? Are you telling me that Atlas Copco or Eriksson will take their data, put it on a blockchain? So they don't know where it's going to be, so they can extract it at any point of time with some contracts that nobody knows who owns them. So it doesn't. So it's good for some things, and for some things is. I mean, we are talking about something that is widespread, and I think blockchain and multiverse, for example, utilization of multiverse in an example of a digital twin and workforce augmented reality amplification. Spot on, it works. So we are not talking about that these technologies will not make any difference, but they are not widespread. They are very, very micro change oriented technologies. It's not like AI, it's not like data. They will not change the world, they will change a bit something.
You have a front row seat to how organizations are experimenting with AI. Which conversations on your stages make you most optimistic about AI's role in society, and which ones keep you up at night?
That was a loaded one a bit. I think that we have, as I mentioned before, I think that from a technical perspective, we are ready. The data and AI community is ready. Yeah. We know exactly what we need to do. Keep in mind, within this data and AI community, that is the strongest stronghold of people that understand the limitations and the scary things that can happen with this technology. They're the ones that are building it. What is scary is the people that do not understand that and going and doing workshops and doing all of these things and educating CEOs and CXO suits for...
And there are people like that.
Yeah, I know, advisors and consultants and etc. Telling what is possible without actually knowing what is the dangers of it. Like, for example, AI security is a very big thing. It's an up and coming topic. We will have actually a full stage on data innovation about it. Because these days with AI, you don't need to actually penetrate the data and the AI model itself. You can externally play around with it. To come back to the point, I'm not worried that the data and AI community doesn't know the limitations of it. We have AI ethicists, we have responsible AI people, we have a lot of great people in Sweden that are really caring about how we're going to work with this technology. But I'm super worried about the 95% of the organizations that basically do not understand the limitations, starting from the CXO teams who are basically responsible for all this. Every single CEO, if they don't have a data and AI literacy course finished, I don't think that they should be in the position anymore.
No. And when you said that, another role that I see coming up is also model governance.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's an exciting future that we have ahead of us.
Yes.
A bit scary.
But it's new.
It's new.
People judge too much. People are judging AI. So like, oh, it doesn't do this and doesn't do that. Would you say that to a person? No, you won't. Right? So we are putting too much what is called emphasis and too much judgment to what data and AI can do, forgetting that it's built by people. Yeah. If a junior person comes to your work and you need to teach them everything from scratch, right? You will need to explain every single thing that you need to do. First, you're going to create your LinkedIn profile. This is where you click. This is what you're going to do. Then I want you to go to Google Docs. And then you're going to do this, you're going to transfer that, send an email to George. George will answer. As soon as they answer, you go here. So you need to create a workflow process for a junior to basically be able and be capable of doing that. But instead of that, now we are becoming so lazy, and we are thinking like, I'm going to put some prompt that you don't even know how to prompt it properly, and I expect something to come out of it. And then you're judging, so like, he doesn't know anything. In the best case, we are mansplaining all the time. We are hallucinating as people. We are actually answering to the limitations of the knowledge that we have. And AI has bigger knowledge than us. So who are we to judge?
Who are we to judge? You created the Nordic Women in Data Summit, and you sit on the board of Girls at Tech Nordics. What made you, as a male leader in tech, step up and champion these spaces? And what resistance, if any, have you faced along the way?
Three things about that. It was interesting. The first thing, we had a genuine problem to solve. Our problem is that there is not enough female on technical conferences. We know that for a fact, 30% of all, only 30% of the entire data and AI community in the Nordics is actually females. We know that for a fact. But it should be actually fairly easy to organize an event where you have 50-50 percent of female versus men speaking. However, it's not the case. It's not the case, especially when we started in 2015, it was not. You remember when I came to you, and what I realized is that it's not that we are not inviting enough people. It's something which is a little bit more deeply rooted in some kind of a traditional, I don't want to be judged about this at all, because my interests are very sincere here. But there is something rooted in that. It's like, so for example, if I call a person, I say like, and that person is a male, I say like, hey, would you like to speak? I can guarantee you 1 in 2 people will say yes. If I call 10 females, I think that I will get maybe 1.
Is it shy?
Yeah, usually they will recommend like a colleague, and that colleague will be probably a male. Some of them will say like, no. I think that we as men usually how hard can it be, right? While the opposite side might be a little bit more critical. So my point was that, self-critical. So my point was like, we didn't have enough females. So I wanted to create something where we're going to motivate and foster future female talent. And it was going great for 2 years. It was called Women in Data. And then we got sued by a UK company because they trademarked that. So we changed the name to Women and Data, the first event, and we had 3 editions. The second thing, I'm a father of 3 daughters, so I want their future basically to be brighter. Not because this needs to be given to them, I just want them to fight for it. And I want them to understand, for them to understand that they have equal opportunities in life like everybody else. They just need to be the go-getters and take it. And then the third thing why we were doing this, I want to make sustainable. I think that many people are talking about diversity in a sense of let's make it 50-50 and then forget about it, right? Because then we have done our quota. But if you work only with the quotas, are you changing enough your workflows and your work processes in order for you to have like a thriving community of people that are working for you into the organization where this diversity is sustainable over time? And I think that we are doing quite well right now. I think this has been on now for a couple of years, so I think people understand more the importance of diversity. However, I'm becoming a little bit more frustrated with one thing. I think that too much the focus of diversity is versus male versus female. And what I see the biggest challenge of today is actually right now in the Nordics and in different, especially in the Nordics, is ageism.
Yeah.
Right? And nobody talks about it. I mean, if you look at all the startup companies, they're up to people for 35, maybe 30, 34. You're not welcome in that. It doesn't matter how much you know and who you are and what you have done and etc. If you are not one of the co-founders, you will never have access there. Which means that we have people, and especially the community that we are in, it's a fantastic people between, I don't know, 25 to 65 years old. And some of them, they are between 45, and I'm doing a little bit of profiling, but there is a purpose of this. There is a very, very big compound knowledge and experience that is going wasted because people, after certain point of time or age, they are not anymore even considered to some positions.
Yeah. Yes.
Right, and it's worse than actually having the problem of diversity, man versus female.
True that.
Right. So I don't know. We were talking about starting like some kind of a organization where we bring all of these people together, and then we act a little bit as advisors and etc. But the world is like this. You have. We cannot judge the world like it is, because if you look at it from organization point of view, you have two basically polarities. You have the startup type of business where you are valued by your amount or your capabilities to attract investment, right? You don't need to create value or basically create revenue as long as you know how to get more money. And that community is the startup community. And of course, there are fantastic companies that are coming out over there, but it's a different type of a business. And then you have traditional businesses where the value is in how much they're doing impact and how much they are generating revenue. And those two are completely different. And we are trying to merge them, but it doesn't go, because one, it's a race after who is going to give me more money. I cannot get my. I'm a angel investor as well, but I don't understand it to some extent. Here is more traditional. Let's make money, and that is the value. And right now you have companies that are actually have zero value delivered, being more valuable than the companies that have been creating value for hundreds of years. And most of the people that know that are between 35 and 55, 65. And most of the people that are working in this part, they are a little bit younger. And what diversity are we talking about? We have like a conflict of experiences and ideas and everything else. So it's a strange world.
It's a strange world, and ageism. I think I've been talking about that on a couple of podcasts as well, because and both to CHROs. And also, companies, headhunting companies, because we see the trend, as you just described, going in the wrong direction, because you're going to have an entire generation of older people, of middle-aged or older people that are completely. I mean, what do you expect them to do?
Yes, but I don't think that is the main problem. I think we will find something to do. We will create our own thing. If we are going to be excluded at some point of time, we will find a way how to create our own identity, our own world.
But that shouldn't be, right?
Yes, it shouldn't. Yes. But my point is that we have these two different worlds of building companies.
Yeah.
Where so they are not matching with each other. They are not going together. And that's why we cannot get in, right? But at some point of time, the money will go, and then they will need to go to the old ways of creating revenue.
Yeah.
And that is where we come. That is where we know what we do.
I think you're right, but I think that the bigger organizations as well, because that's also where the challenge is happening. You have the large enterprise organizations where you're reducing people, and there, the older ones, as whether you're, we had a headhunting company here that said, from 45, there are some people that are already, not fitting in, or you are the first ones out when you're reducing the people, the workload. So, and my question over there was, okay, how do you make this change? Is it the government that needs to do some more, policies in place, or is it companies? Is it, where do you actually start to make this change?
No, it needs to start in the companies. What does government has to do with it?
As my last question, if Hyperight disappeared tomorrow, what's the one principle or idea you'd want the industry to remember you for?
I think that I will be long forgotten, like all of us, at some point of time. But if not, I have like so. I don't think that people should remember people, but if we need to define it, then it will be 3 or maybe 4 things. Huh? So the first one is you are not alone. and this is very important, you are not alone. Many companies, I have created a lot of communities. Keep in mind, communities always exist. There needs to be just a catalyst or a instigator that will gather that community together, right? I work with the defense supply chain. I did the pricing community in Europe. I did enterprise asset management, many of those, right? But the dearest of me is that the data analytics and AI that we have been doing. Now, what strikes me, and I have been organizing these events across the world, is that, you know, especially in the Nordics, in Finland is not the case. So Sweden is a very particular case, but in Finland they collaborate a little bit more, but in Sweden we're a little bit different. But in any case, Nordics is very individualistic. One of the reasons why we don't innovate enough, is that we think that we are so unique in the way how we are innovating.
Of course.
All right? But how is that possible when you're utilizing the same technologies that everybody else, you're using the same language programming or whatever it's going to be, you have the same frameworks, you're reading the same book that are written in English, etc. So you basically have, everything is the same, right? But you think that you are so unique because you're working in a company X. Right? So my idea with creating these smaller events and bigger events is actually to put people together and tell them, you are not alone. Everybody is struggling with the same challenges. The opportunities may be different, because if you're telecom, maybe you're going to work with fraud detection, maybe with capacity management, maybe with something else, customer experience, and somewhere else you will do something else. So the output is different, but the way how you're going to do that is the same. All of them will have the same challenges, implementing generative AI, agentic AI, putting data governance in practice. So you are not alone. Just go and have a coffee with somebody. Right? So like, hey, how are you doing it in your organization? And if you're working on your thing and I'm working on my thing, and then we come together and then we learn from each other's mistake, that means that I don't need to make that mistake. I can go beyond that. And we often say, like, we want to be like Silicon Valley. Well, go to Silicon Valley. These people are making foundations. You know, what is called like Amazon, Meta, they had something which was called Presto Foundation. Presto Foundation was like their effort. They came to a problem where we cannot scale the data engineering more in these organizations because we have so many customers. So they combined forces together by meeting in a coffee shops and created Presto Foundation, which was basically then the foundation for increased data engineering practices within these companies, right? How many of those Presto Foundations do we have it in Sweden? None, right? Because we don't talk to each other. So the first thing is you are not alone. And the second one, innovation is just coffee away. Just invite somebody for a coffee that is in your position, ask them, and I think you will find that I cannot recommend it more. Individualism kills innovation. Politics kills innovation. That is our biggest problems in the Nordics, right? And the third one is just Hyperight. That's the name, right? Find what is the current hype. Don't jump on all the hypes. Find what is good for you, where the compound, what is called like a group and focus is right now, because probably that hype will never fade away. There will be value after it has faded away. So focus on that hype. So find a hype that is right for you. So Hyperight.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I've really enjoyed our talk. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for that.
And thank you all of you for listening in. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget, and leave us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Bye for now.